Hello again, everybody. This is Joe Larson and Chuck Schultz, and you're watching the 505 Mile Racing Show. Tonight, we'll be talking about some things that go on in NASCAR and the tracks across the country. We'll have the results out of Kansas for the Monster Energy, Xfinity, and Gander Truck Series. We'll have some news out of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, and we'll again continue our talk about NASCAR and some of the things going forward, and then we'll share some news that we just heard today when we come back.
Inravio.com.
So here we are, back again after missing a week.
That's right. For the big holiday weekend.
Yeah, I was down in Daytona for the Coke Zero 400, and I got to do some laps with the NASCAR Richard Petty experience.
I heard. So how was it?
You know, I'll tell you, you hear so many things about these ride-along, drive-alongs. I got to drive, and you get there, you sign in like a regular driver.
Right.
Just like at any short track, even though it was 2.5 miles. Wait.
You got to sign in and sign your life away.
Yeah. And, I have my own equipment because I feel funny wearing somebody else's sweaty fire suit that, the last session.
You went there with your own fire suit, so automatically they figured out this guy's a rube.
Oh, yeah.
They figured right away, so, this guy's a goer.
Oh, yeah. I have my, ASI fire suit, with, and I go in the dressing room, because I'm not going to just strip in the parking lot, and I get dressed. And
should do a racetrack style.
Yeah. I didn't have a trailer; it was their car. And
you open the door to the hauler, and you do it behind the door.
Yeah, behind the door, like so we did.
Nobody sees your skivvies.
Yeah, exactly. So go to a driver's meeting. Now, I'm thinking the first question they asked, I'm thinking they should have put on the application. Who here cannot drive a standard stick, vehicle? Of course, everybody could. But I'm thinking that's something they should have asked before the guy paid, X, Y, Z dollars.
You would think, but I'm going to guess, which is the assume part.
Right.
That, most of these people that are signing up to do a race drive-along thing or whatever, they know that race cars are not automatics.
Exactly. And if they are, they're not real race cars. So
they're enduro cars.
Yeah. So we have a good point. So we have this driver's meeting, but the driver's meeting is race car driving 101 on a video. From how to step into the race car, because as they put in the video, race cars don't have doors. How to buckle up.
Unless it's the legend car.
Exactly. The whole bit. I mean, nothing was left out.
Well, you would think that the proper way, because somebody's going to hurt themselves or get stuck or
somebody else.
Right, or fall or something dopey because they don't know how to do it.
And then, as I was told in my little application.
Did they say how to do it when you're fat?
It's the same principle. Same principle. You just have to suck in and kind of. You get in easy, it's getting out.
Well, Earnhardt didn't get in that way. He'd do one leg, then he'd put his body in and bring the other leg in.
Yeah, I can't bend like that, not now.
Some of the old school guys did it that way. I can't do that. I got to put one leg, the other leg, and then slide my belly through. Normally got to grease that up with some butter or something. You get it through that.
See, my foot and my knees don't bend the way they used to, so anyway.
And then you got to get in there and twist.
So now, as they said in the application process, things you need to know, you're out there by yourself. There's no lead guy.
Nobody in your ear?
No. And there were 6 or 8 race cars on the track at the same time. And you have a spotter, a personal spotter up on top.
Okay, so you got somebody in your ear.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's in your ear.
They call him your spotter, but he's your guide man. All right, slow down, go low, go high.
Yeah. So
there's nobody out there.
We're on pit road at the start-finish line.
That's funny.
And you have to be at 4,000 RPMs in fourth at the end of pit road so you could blend into the 18-degree blanking, which turns into 31 degrees blanking. which if you're not going 85 miles an
You're
hour,
just going to slide.
you slide off, which is, for those who don't know what 31-degree banking at Daytona is, on the flat spot in the apron to the wall, if you measured, is 3 stories. And it's 3
Well, it's
stories.
5 for the whole turn.
Yeah. So I go into that corner nice. I go down the backstretch, and he says, I take it up to 46.
Take your foot off the brake.
Yeah. So I'm at 46
I'm
going
not
down
on
the
the brake.
backstretch.
Do you get to talk back to him or no?
Yeah, oh yeah. And you have to. With everything he says, you have to confirm you heard it. And we'll get to that later. Now I'm going into 3, and I come out of 4. I take it to 48. And I go through the little tri-oval, going to 1 and 2, nice. Come in the backstretch, take it to 5. Now there's a car in turn 3, and I see him up ahead. He goes, all right, don't catch him and pass him on the turn. Pass him coming off of 4. I do that. Now he goes, all right, take it to 52. 52? I got it.
52. Does he tell you to pass him on the outside?
Yeah, yeah. So now I'm down the backstretch. He goes, it looks like you know what you're doing. Just go. Now to have these things chipped at 5,500.
Right, so you're topping out.
So I'm
you're
topping out.
not at like 95 like the Cup cars.
Yeah. Now, we have a situation where there's like regular real drivers with passengers, giving them the thrill they
To drive along.
They're doing like 200.
To ride along, yeah.
So my spotter says, stay low, coming out of 4, you got 2 ride-alongs coming. They went by me like I pulled into the store
Like
for
you were
coffee.
standing still.
The next lap time around the backstretch, I'm coming off of 4, he goes, you might be able to catch this guy. That was like going down the backstretch. He's going down the middle. And as I'm coming up to him, all of a sudden, my window net stopped flapping, and I didn't hear the air.
Oh, of course, you were in the draft.
And I had a lift to go faster. He said, don't pass him in the corner, pass him off of 4. I got to feel what the slingshot was like. My body just went back into the seat and gone. Gone. So I passed a bunch of cars. I have an in-car video and a dash cam. And
So you got the side draft?
I did. And it's funny how when you pass on the side, the car gets a little shaky. Now, I had a great time doing this. My average speed was 156, so I guess that was pretty good. And the next day I go to get out of bed, my whole body hurts. And I can't understand why. I mean, hurts. And I'm not into that, oh my God, this hurts. I watched the video when I got home, down the backstretch, you're doing this. I don't realize that when I was doing it. And in the corners, you're like this. I hurt from my neck to my butt. And because you're bouncing in the seat. And of course, it's not the nice custom seats that the drivers use. It's the seat without the seat cover.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I don't got a lot of padding down there, you know, but I got to tell you.
So it's like the ride at Adventureland. They just ripped it out of there and stuck it in the car.
Yes. But I had a great time. If you ever get a chance, and they do it at a lot of racetracks, and I'm not giving a plug for them, but if you ever get a chance and you're a race car driver, go do this. And I remember when I was online, because you get your certificate.
I guess Daytona is the best place to do
Oh,
it.
yeah. I want to go to Bristol next.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, well, Bristol.
So I'm online to get you get your little certificate and whatever else, you know, parting gifts that they give you.
You get your little picture taken while you're coming
yeah.
down,
Oh.
while you're going down the flume, like this,
So,
with the border that says Daytona International
Yeah,
Speedway around it
so there's a guy in front of me.
for $35 a picture.
And he's with his wife.
Do you want it on a magnet frame so you can put it on the refrigerator?
goes to his wife. Oh, I was going so fast. I had to, I backed down. So she goes, oh my God, yeah. When you went by, you look so fast, and that those 2 cars passed you, and that was because they were the ride along with the professional drivers. You did good. So he gets a certificate. His average was like
125.
Yeah, it was like 131. So it says to me, how did you do? Now, I didn't want to make her feel bad, because, my goal
Did all
is,
right.
my goal is to enhance or maintain somebody's self-esteem. So I go, it's about the same as you. It's pretty fast. And I started laughing. But yeah, he didn't understand why I was laughing. I just told him I had such a good time. But it was fun.
Yeah, but you know it's different because when you've done, even if you've done it on a short track, I know this is not a lot of drafting in the big league, but when you've done it on a short track, you kind of got the principle down with the braking easy, the turning easy, all the rest of that. The entry, the coming out.
There was no braking.
No, I didn't think there would be.
Flat foot. Once they gave you the okay. Flat foot.
But it was you were maxed out at 55.
55, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, if it's chipped for that, and when I was going down the backstretch about 3/4 way, it started made that noise, so you chipped. All I did was lift, and it dropped the RPMs a little bit, and then I was back on it. And it was fun.
Yeah.
It was
so
fun.
when it started to sputter, did you lost speed?
Yes.
On purpose. It's like the go-karts down at the amusement park.
Yes.
You just keep it flat to the floor. And
flat to the floor. And the brakes, you have to mash the brakes to stop. Coming off of Ford or go down pit road when they tell you it's done, you don't just touch them. You stand
jump on it.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait to do Bristol.
Well, probably because they're putting hard brakes in there because
Yes.
nobody knows what's going on.
No.
But at the same token, how many times are they stopping with those cars?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
They want them to, they don't want to be fixing them every week.
No.
Yeah.
But and the other thing,
they know you're only stopping once. They probably got a net at the end of the pit, so in case you do, just like they did with the slot cars. If you go off the track, they just get caught in a net.
Yeah, but it was awesome, and there were a lot of people there. They had 8, 9, 10, and 11 on Saturday morning, and the Cup race was Saturday night. So they had to be done. If you were late, you missed your spot. It was, sorry, too bad, so sad, because they can't wait for people. And they had it down to a science. And they give you a little flash drive to put in your computer. And then to see what you're doing, you get to see from the dash what the car's doing. It was fun. It was good. And unfortunately it rained Saturday night, so they didn't get the event in Saturday night. And one of the things that annoyed me is they announced that the race would be run Sunday at 1:20. I get there in plenty of time for 1:20, and I'm walking up to the gate, and it's like 1:45. And the cars are racing because they saw a window of rain coming, and they had to get halfway. And they got to lap 127, and they went red. They waited a half hour, and then it was going to rain for 2 days.
Then it poured, so they called it.
Yeah, so they pulled the plug.
Yeah.
And then that's one
well,
of the
lightning, it got shut down because of the lightning, right?
Well, there was an announcement that if you're in the grandstands, get out of the grandstands because of the lightning that was coming. And the lightning was vicious. It was vicious. But thank God I was there till Wednesday, so
Didn't matter.
I went back Sunday and for a day race, which kind of messed the teams up because they were set for night. The setup was for night.
And they had to run during the day.
They had to run during the day, so.
But they were all on a level playing field anyway.
Exactly.
So
But
they were all
good.
messed up.
It was good, and like I said, I had an awesome time, and I recommend anywhere, any track, any place that does that. You just go online. There's all kinds of guys or teams, and it's real race cars. And just if you have your own fire suit, I recommend it because by the second go around, those things are pretty, wet. Even one guy said that, and he goes, "This suit's soaked." I said, "Yeah, well, maybe they spray it down."
They dry them.
Yeah.
You think they wash them?
Yeah, no.
It takes like 2 weeks to dry once you wash it.
I know.
And you can only wash them so much.
Yeah, then you gotta take care of them. And it's not even a 3-layer suit. It's a single-layer suit.
Really?
Yeah, it was. As long as it had a certain SFI reading, and
They don't expect anybody to crash, but they take your credit card just in case, don't they?
Exactly. Yeah, well, I bought insurance. I did.
How much was the insurance?
It covered everything but like $1,000 deductible.
$1,000.
It's a $100,000 race car.
And how much did it cost?
Well, the package I got included video, pictures.
Oh, the insurance was wrapped up in there?
Yeah, but it's itemized. It was like $6.99
For the insurance?
for the whole shoot match. Insurance was $30.
$6.99?
Yeah, I wish. I would have did 5 of them, $699. Well,
And
worth
insurance
it.
was in the package.
Yeah, it was in the package. Yeah, it's like you get like when you buy stuff from Amazon. It's like.
Which they covered anyway.
But it was awesome. But you know what they do, as the car, because I think there were 12 race cars. they look at the who's next, and they size him. There was like a big guy, and
He goes in the big car.
he was like last on the line. You, big guy, come. And everybody looked at him and goes, I got to put you in the car you fit in. Like the real short guy, he had to wait. He had to wait a while
Right.
too, because
Different size, width-wise and lengthwise
they
of the seat.
did put.
Because that would kind of suck if you got to put a couple of 2x4s on the gas pedal.
Yeah, well, this guy, they put like SFI padding in the seat so he could reach the pedals. This one guy, he was so short.
Oh, jeez.
I was
To
just
get him
average.
forward enough so he can mash the pedal?
Yeah, and I was like, the steering was here. I was like, that can't be comfortable.
For you?
For me, it was fine. It was perfect. It was like the car was built for me. But then again, I wanted to just drive so bad it didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
It didn't matter. I haven't raced coming.
Meanwhile, you know, 5 years from now, you're looking at the video and you realize you're actually sitting on a soapbox and you weren't moving. It was a video screen in front of you.
And they blow fans on this so you feel the wind.
And there's two guys over there. There's two 2x4s under the soapbox, and as you go around a turn, they lift one side up so it feels like you're leaning.
Yeah, there's guys with jacks. And then as you go back in the straightaway, they let it down slow.
That's too funny.
That's a good idea. Anyway, we're gonna take a break, and we come back. We're gonna talk about what went on this weekend with the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, the Xfinity Series, and the Gander Outdoor Truck Series. When we come back.
Hey,
we're
what's
set
oh,
up.
I said was gonna say what's up for some reason. Hey, we're set it up, and you're watching the Inravio TV network.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop. 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hi there, this is Buddy from Less Than Jake, and you are listening to Inravio TV. You're probably watching it too.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Welcome back, everybody. We're back.
So if you missed the first half of the show, we're almost done.
Yeah, we started a little late today. That's right. You know, it had nothing to do with the Oakdale merge. So for those who live on Long Island, know exactly what that's
Traffic was terrible.
It was.
Today, I don't know what was going on. Something was happening out
Something
there.
was happening.
But it's been pretty terrible.
But we're good. It's all good. It's all good. So, there was some racing this weekend.
Ed, did you see my discussion from last 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
If I hold it out here, can you see?
Yeah, I
it?
can see it much better out there.
Big storm. Stops the race.
Yeah.
I could just leave that on the top of pretty much every one of my sheets.
Every race. It's bad lately. It's really bad. You know, I don't know what they're gonna do, but why can't they? And this I was going to talk about in the last segment. Why can't these tracks be domed? Wouldn't have to worry about weather.
It's coming.
I'm thinking.
I wouldn't doubt they're thinking about that.
You know?
Because there's a lot of missed opportunity there. And you know what? How many people can't hang around for the next day?
You know,
I mean, all right, a Sunday's a weekend.
Right.
But a Monday, that's a different animal.
It's a whole
altogether.
different animal. It really is.
And for the amount of money you keep losing when they think about this, I mean,
but you know, it's
had a lot of weather this year.
One of the things that with the rain, and when I left on Saturday night in the rain, there was a couple outside, and I felt bad. They were arguing. I mean, not just, come on, honey. No, they were arguing because he wanted to stay till Sunday, and she said it's going to be too much money to change our flights, and you know, and I have to work, and
Oh, yeah. I mean, you've got all those plans laid out.
yeah,
And there's so many people that are trying to change their stuff, too.
yep.
How much time and effort is it going to take you to do that?
Yeah, no, it's not. And in the way it worked out, they only ran, you know, a little bit more than half the race anyway.
Right.
So
And they started early, so by the time you got there, you missed most of it.
yeah, I missed 10 laps.
All right, that's not bad.
And I was
And you were there
and I
early.
was 15 minutes early. I missed 10 laps.
If you weren't, you probably would have missed 50 laps.
Right, exactly. And you know what? That's the best part of the race is the start. But what are you going to do?
And you know those tickets aren't cheap, so,
No.
you know, which very disappointing.
It is.
For
it
anybody
was.
who didn't get to see it, couldn't stay,
Yeah. The only, not that it was good, but I guess
and there's no refunds for weather.
no refunds whatsoever. Not even like a credit to like next year, nothing. And then they announced that the Coca-Cola 400, which used to be the Firecracker 400,
Right.
has been run since 1959, the week of July 4th.
Of the 4th of July, yeah.
And next year,
Hence the Firecracker 400.
right. Next year that race will be in August with the new schedule. And I don't, you know, I know things are going to be different next year scheduling. I know there's going to be different venues and tracks that have been holding races all this time might not get their two. Some might not even get their one. And you got to wonder how that happens. How they make a decision like that. But
Yeah.
they do. They really do, and they do.
Well, they got everybody's money. There's no refund, so it's easy to make that decision.
Yeah.
We already got their money. Shut it down. We'll send the guys home early. Save
Yeah.
a buck.
Yeah.
Because, you know, officials, they don't get paid for the whole thing, do they?
They get paid by the hour.
Right. So if they're not there for the whole show, they're not there for the whole show.
Yeah. You know, as an official, I kind of liked when it rained because you got paid to stand there
And do nothing.
and
yeah.
do nothing
Well,
like a
that's
whole day.
That's a good thing.
And work an extra day because tomorrow was supposed to be go home day. Now you're there.
Now you're there working.
So you know you gain.
Provided you, and they're going to get you home anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
So you worry,
And-
they have to worry about it.
And they make their travel arrangements. And,
Right. So they worry about it.
You know, I had a pretty good deal with NASCAR for the years I was there. And, my deal was the 400 mile was the cutoff. If it was less than 400 miles, I drove my personal car. They paid the tolls, and they paid the mileage at the prevailing rate that the IRS allows. 400 and up, they paid for the plane ticket, a rental car, fuel for the rental car, and it was all good.
And a hotel.
And a hotel. Yeah. So it wasn't a bad gig. It's just it became a job, you know.
Well, yeah,
Became
it
a
is.
job, and yeah, and it became a serious job, and some serious things happened in my tenure, and it was time to move on, because it was, you know, when you're the race director for a race, and the guy you've known since you're a little kid, you know, you lose a guy in your watch, it kind of hits you.
Yeah, it does.
You know, because you never expect something like that to happen. But Anyway, we're in a good mood today.
Moving right along.
Moving right along, the Monster Energy Cup.
The Monster
race.
Winston Cup.
Oh my goodness, say that 6 times fast. Race this weekend. I believe we have results for that. Here we go. This was some race. Kurt Busch was the winner. Kyle Busch second, his brother. Eric Jones third, Kyle Larson fourth. Denny Hamlin was fifth. Clinton Boyer sixth, followed by Joey Logano, Daniel Suarez eighth, Ryan Newman ninth, and Chris Buescher rounding out the top 10. And I'll tell you what, I caught the end of that race by accident. I was just channel surfing. I figured it would have been over by now. And those two guys crisscrossed and passed and back and forth, and they didn't touch once. Now, I'm thinking if that was any other guy with Kyle Busch, there would have been some beating and banging.
Yeah, somebody would have been spinning.
Oh, yeah.
But it was his brother.
It was his brother, his bigger brother. Or maybe older brother, because I think
Older brother.
Kyle's taller than
taller.
Kurt. Yeah. What a finish! What a race! And that's how it used to be. You know, beating and bang. Who could ever forget David Pearson and Richard Petty beating and banging at the Daytona 500? They both end up in the grass.
That and the fight was the whole notoriety thing. I mean, honestly, I don't think NASCAR would have been where they are now if it wasn't.
No, and then they were actually upset about that until they saw the ratings.
Right, and you couldn't have planned that out.
No.
They were just in the right place, the right time, with the right thing to happen.
Yeah, it's all good.
It was good.
Anyway, the Xfinity Series ran this weekend as well, and another one at Kentucky Speedway. Cole Custer was the winner there, followed by Christopher Bell. Tyler Reddick was third. Michael Annett fourth. Chase Briscoe was fifth. Noah Gragson was sixth. Justin Allgaier seventh. Ryan Truex eighth. Ryan Sieg ninth, and Justin Haley rounding out the top 10. So that was an interesting race. It wasn't exciting beyond words, but that race never is for some reason. Just never is. And then, of course, we had the Gander Outdoor Truck Series. And they are also in Kentucky. Tyler Ankrum was first. Stewie Friesen was second. Harrison Burton third. Ross Chastain was fourth. Dylan Lupton fifth. Austin Wayne Self was sixth. Brett Moffitt seventh. Spencer Davis eighth. Jeb Burton ninth. And Johnny Sauter rounding out the top 10. Kansas, cookie cutter track, like Chicagoland. Kansas, they're almost exactly the same.
Because they don't have to pay architectural fees. They just hand the plans over and say, build this.
Exactly. You know,
That's kind of what I did in my garage. Had a friend that built it. I just handed it to the guy and said, build this.
See, you got to know what things to be able to, and you knew they were approved.
I knew it was already ready to go. It was already approved. It was all good.
Reminds me when Bob Baer built Loudon, as it was called when he had it, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, as it's called now under the new ownership. When he built that, he put in plans for the second tier and the suites and the NASCAR towers and all the sponsored hangouts and whatnot. And when he went for his permits, the fire chief got up to talk at a public hearing. And he says, I can't allow that. In good faith. And what's the situation? He goes, I don't have a piece of equipment in the fire district that can reach up there. So Bob Baer stood up. He goes, excuse me for interrupting. How much would that piece of equipment cost? He goes, about $300,000. It's not in our budget. Bob Baer said, will you take a check? Wrote the check right then and there. Said, I got to build my racetrack. Go get all the equipment you need. If you need more money, come to me.
Well, that's kind of the standing rule now. Most of these projects that do happen, when fire coverage can't make it happen, you buy the equipment. We had a proposal that we had in a village on Long Island, and it was going to be quite a large building, a structure. And the fire department had already gotten a brand new ladder truck, a couple of years old.
Wow.
But this project was going to require it to be another 25 feet longer than it was. Mm-hmm. So that was another $2.5 million for 25 feet. So we were ready to do that until the deal fell through. But that was one of the things that was on came right up at first meeting. If you do this, you're going to have to buy us a fire truck.
Yeah.
Came right up.
Yeah. You got to save the people.
You do.
I mean, I couldn't imagine a racetrack burning, but
Can't we get those trampoline things and jump out the windows?
the only time I ever saw them was in the Little Rascals, where they pretended they were firemen. Remember that?
You always saw them in the old movies. They get bounce, right?
Oh my goodness, it's so good. Oh yes, but you know when you these series, and I'll tell you, I'm going to go out on a limb here. Do we really need a Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series and an Xfinity Series and a Truck Series? And now you're going to have the ARCA Series merging with the K&N Pro Series. I don't know. I think it's just, a lot of people are saying that, Kyle Busch, with all his wins, he's blown away the win number from Richard Petty. Richard Petty raced one series, the Grand Nationals, which became Winston Cup, which became all the other cups.
Yeah.
Kyle Busch is...
Well, you got to remember that they realize that they've got a cash cow.
Yeah.
And they also realize that they have different sized tracks.
Yeah.
That they can send the trucks to a smaller track, and they can get some cash out of that, as opposed to, we can't really send the Xfinity there.
No. And the
that's
Cup
what it
guys are
boils
racing
down to.
Xfinity, and
Right.
I don't know.
I think that definitely needs to be cleaned up, as we spoke about before.
Yeah,
but
it does, without a doubt.
tell me there's no shortage of race car drivers out there that Kyle Busch has to run his own. But he's running his own team, right? It's not like somebody's hiring him to do it. So.
And the other thing you got to look at too with that is the Monster Energy NASCAR Series cannot or has trouble filling the field up with their 40 entries. The charter teams show up and
that's it.
that's it. So they'll race 36, sometimes 37, 38. You have some parking, starting parks as they call them. Well, if they didn't have the Xfinity Series, I'm thinking some of those guys
might
would
be some more people.
and some guys might go to the track. It's just like the short tracks. A short track that has 6, 7, 8 divisions, to me, you're not doing yourself justice. That leads to poor car counts across the board, because, and I've always said this, and I proved myself right. Oh, let's start a heavy stock division. So all the back markers and the others, maybe if I won there, I could win. So they leave the division they're in, they go to the new one.
Thinking that's going to be the
And now what's
place.
happened is you watered it down. And I can remember when I started racing at ISO Speedway here on Long Island, there was 2 divisions. There was modifieds, figure eights, and sometimes the midgets came, but they were from out of town. And sometimes you might have had the street stocks or the bombers come in every once in a while from Freeport and Riverhead. But it was once in a while. There were 60 some odd modifieds and over 80 figure eight cars. I started 33rd in a Consi that they were taking 2. My friend goes, why bother? So I came here to drive. I didn't come here to watch racing.
Come here to race, even if I'm racing in the Consi.
Who cares? So I still raced twice. Because I obviously didn't qualify. But, that's how they did it in those days. And I just think it's gotten watered down. And that's why some divisions only have, and this is a lot of the short tracks that I've gone to, of course, and I've been to so many. You see that. You see, like, the street stocks go out in some tracks, and there's 9 of them. So they run 2 heat races, 4 in one, 5 in the other. You're in the show. Somebody hits the wall. Somebody spins and crashes.
Yeah.
What does it pay? 0. Now you're not in the show. Not getting points, not getting money. And you see that everywhere. And that's something that really, I think, needs to be looked at. And somebody goes, well, what do you tell these guys that have these cars? I don't know.
Well, now you're already in, so there's really not much you can do.
Exactly.
Unless you start merging divisions, and you can't make it palatable because these guys are spending every dime they got to do this.
Exactly.
We had that happen on Long Island where they got rid of a division.
Yeah.
And now you got how many guys with these cars that they can't do the scrambling? There's nothing they can do with them.
There's nothing.
And if they haven't, if they're on a shoestring budget, just trying to put that together to go to the racetrack,
Right.
then go ahead and add a couple more $1,000s onto that for them to tow out of state every week. It's not going to happen.
No. Anyway, we got to take a break. We come back, we'll be talking about the Whelen Modified Tour and some news coming out of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour when we come back.
Hi, I'm Remington.
I'm Emerson.
And I'm Sebastian.
We're Palais Royale, and you're watching Inravio TV.
There we go.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Hey, this is Chris Les Jake, and if Inravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE, your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hi, this is Mike Jarecki from My Race News, and you're watching the Inravio TV network.
Hey, the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Some news coming out there. Bobby Santos III. He's going to drive the SAP Enterprises number 36 with in a partnership with Tinio Motorsports on the Whelen Modified Tour. Santos will replace Dave Sapienza, who is recovering from his injuries from that crash at Wall still. It's kind of sad. According to Dave Sapienza, he will team up with Tinio Motorsports. And it'll be his car and Tinio's crew and parts and whatnot. Santos has 141 NASCAR Whelen Modified starts, and he's also the 2010 NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour champion when he drove for Bob Garbarino's Mystic Missile. Bobby Santos has driven everything there is to drive, super modifieds, dirt, you name it, he's driven it, and very successful. He reminds me of a young Ted Christopher. Very soft-spoken, quiet, and yet he straps into that race car and puts the helmet on, tightens the belts. Man, he's one aggressive son gun. You know, he's and this is a good opportunity. You know, Sapienza had good equipment. Tinio Motorsports, who Bobby Santos drove for the last few years, back and forth. It's the blending or the melding of two good teams. And, you know, it's a shame that, you know, Sap had that wreck. You know, you mess up your back. And the way I saw a video of him hitting, I'm surprised that's all he had.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, it's, like I said, good equipment. Santos is a good driver. You throw Tinio's crew, and those guys are a good bunch of guys. I can remember they were one of the teams that when I was with the NASCAR as an official on that series, that you could joke around with. You could joke around, you could tell stories, you know. You could break their chops in tech, you know, and they would just laugh at you. But when it came time to be serious, they knew when it was time to be serious. I didn't have to say, no, guys, I'm not kidding you. That's no good. You know, if I said that's no good, it would, all right, now we'll fix it. So, it's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. I think it's going to turn out very well.
Yeah.
I think Santos is going to.
Oh, he's always been a good driver.
Yeah,
so
he's going to be
I
competing
think
for
with the
wins.
right team, I think it'd be good.
Yeah, and I think this is a good deal. I mean, not that Sapienza didn't have a good team. He did. He did, and he had good equipment. But, you take two pretty good teams and put them together, man, you take the best of the best. You know? And not that the Tineo cars aren't the best, but, Sapienza had some nice equipment. And so it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Anyway, I believe we have some results of the NASCAR Wheel Modified Tour for the last race, which we didn't get to broadcast, so we got that up there now. Last race was held July 6th at Riverhead Raceway on Long Island. Justin Bonsignor was the winner there, crossing the finish line backwards.
Yeah.
Followed by John Beatty Jr., Timmy Solomino, third, Ron Silk, fourth, Greg Lutz, fifth, Doug Colby, sixth, Patrick Emmerling, seventh, Eric Goodale, eighth, Tom Rogers Jr., ninth, and Tommy Catalano rounding out the top 10.
I'll tell you, Beatty really wanted that win, boy.
Oh, man. Now, I know,
and
John.
if you're going to spin them, you got to spin them and turn left.
See,
you can't push them across the start-finish line. You got to do it. You got to do it like a half a lap or a turn before, man. What are you thinking?
I looked at the video. I looked at two different videos that were on. One that was taken from in between turns 3 and 4, and one taken from turn 1. Now, if you look at the video taken from turns 3 and 4, where the cars are pulling away from you, if I was the official umpire, I was that son of a gun took him out. Put him to the back. I'm telling you, that's the call I would have made. Now I watched from somebody who videotaped it in turn 1, and it looks like, because they're side by side almost, and Beatty got on it really hard, stood on it. The car just kicked
wiggled
a little bit, hit Justin in the quarter, which put you, and he didn't get off it. He didn't get off it, I got to admit. And just, if he had another 10 feet, Beatty would have crossed the line first. But Justin back across the line, which the transponder is in the front of the car or the back of the car. It's 150 inches from the bumper back. That's where the transponder goes.
Right.
If that transponder would have been on the front, Justin would have been second. But by rule, they're in the back of the car. So it's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting how that race turned out. It's the type of race that you're standing to watch. And in a race like that at Riverhead, it's a quarter mile. It's really not. It's really a fifth. I measured it. But
did you get out there with your 6-foot tape measure?
This is what I did. I was out there drying the track in one of the pace cars.
In your underwear?
Of course, because I didn't want to get my clothes dirty. Right. So I went around the high groove because they had the tow trucks and dragging tires. I said, let me go around the high groove. So I did 4 laps. If that was a true quarter mile at the high groove, the odometer reading that I hit at the start-finish line to reset would have been 1. It took 5 laps to make it go 1.
Yeah, but see, if you measure around the outside of the wall, on the fan side, it's a quarter mile.
I guess. Now, I remember Islip being advertised as a fifth. That was a tiny little place. That was a tiny little place. I remember when the figure eight cars went to Riverhead for one of the first times. It was a totally, guys were like.
It was like being on a super speedway.
It was, with the higher banking and, oh, man.
You had to stay, especially on the figure eight, you had to stay on it for another 2 seconds down the X, right?
Oh, yeah. Going through the X. And then, it was a fun time. Fun time. But, yeah, it was a race of races. This weekend, I should say, that NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour will be at New Hampshire, Motor Speedway up in New Hampshire, obviously. They have their all-star race Friday, I believe, and then their 100-lapper on Saturday. And the K&N Pro Series will also be there as well. So it should be a good weekend. Unfortunately, I have other plans, so I won't be attending. I was going to go, but I got other plans. I got things I got to do. I can't go to everything. Can't go to everything, I think one of those plans is I got to work one of the days. So
That is a plan.
yeah, so that's, what are you going to do? What can you do? Anyway, we're going to take a break, come back. We're going to talk about some of the NASCAR stuff that I guess that needs to be looked at. And we have some not so good news, not good news, I should say, coming out from one of our biggest fans and good friend of ours when we come back.
Hey guys, this is Jibs from Ocean's 8, Alaska, and you're watching Inravio TV Network.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Murphy Weller. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, you're gonna punch in the But if you have this bracelet from Inravio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
What's up, guys? This is Assuming We Survive, and you're watching Inravio TV Network.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Hey, welcome back. Hey, we were just talking offline. A good friend of our show, who's been a guest, plus you, he's been a guest. We've interviewed him outside the studio. Cookie Visconti. He's in the hospital since Saturday. He really could use some prayers. If you ever saw him race, had a chat with him, shook his hand, or he entertained you, because you sit with him and you figure you're just going to sit and say, hey, how you doing? Be prepared for long stories, and you be laughing. You, in some way, experienced him and enjoyed him. And to pay him back for what he's given to us, prayers are needed. Maybe 2, maybe 3. Maybe get on your knees every night before you get to bed and when you wake up in the morning. He really could use it. Like I said, he's a fan of our show, no matter how ugly he was feeling on Monday night. He still logged in. He still said hello. He'd call me every once in a while, say how I was doing. That's Cookie. He raced in Long Island at the Freeport Municipal Stadium, sometimes at ISIP as well. Champion in every division he ever raced. Last year at the Thompson Motorsports Park, the K&N Pro Series ran there, and his son, John Visconti III, had a tribute car, because it was a tribute race to the old days for his dad. And a bunch of us got to sign the hood, and I believe that hood is going to be on the car this weekend at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. So if you're friends with him on social media, just go and wish him well. But the prayers really need, and just as I spoke to the family today, just ask for Cookie to be comfortable. You take that any way you want, but he needs to be comfortable. And I have some good memories of Cook. Growing up watching him race. First class guy when he showed up at the racetrack.
When we did the interviews with him at the Heinz Museum, he was nice, really nice guy, and I think we did a couple interviews.
Yes.
Every time, every time we were there for an old timer's day, he was, first in line. He wanted to be interviewed.
Oh yeah.
He likes talking on the mic.
And
So he's a good guy. He really is.
good guy.
And you know what? Just pray that the Lord's with him, and
Yeah.
I know he's going through a lot of hard stuff. And
and not that I'm trying to be jeopardize anything, but I know when you get to the gate, they ask you 2 questions. What lessons have you learned, and how did you show your love? And he shows his love to everybody, everybody. His family, his friends, the nurses at the hospital, everybody. He's always smiling, always joking. And what lessons did he learn? He learned to treat people the way he wanted to be treated. With that being said, that in my book is an automatic in. You're in. I'm not looking.
so they pick you up with the electric car and take you through the gate?
Exactly. The people mover takes. And when he gets into the palatial residence of the Lord, and I believe that if you don't, so be it. He's going to have his fire suit on. He's going to be 35 years old again. He's going to be strong as a bull. And then he's going to sign in to Heaven Motor Speedway.
At the back gate.
At the back gate.
And pay us $55.
Pay his fees. Because, you go in the pocket, it's endless in that place. Again, I'm not wishing him
That's good.
But I want him to be comfortable. And he's going to walk through the pits there, strutting his stuff, because he's a talker. And he's going to be strutting his stuff with a big smile. And everybody's going to say, dang, we got some competition up here. Now, I hope that don't happen for a long time. But you know what? My prayers today were to make him comfortable. And I want him to go the way he wants to go. And if he's a tough SOB, pardon the expression, he's a tough SOB. And he's holding on. He's holding on. Somebody needs to tell him it's okay to go. It's okay to go. So I'm not going to get into what he has, what he doesn't have. That's up to the family. I know his son JV posted on social media. Until he has more answers, he's going to leave that alone. But I hope he's not upset with me for doing this. He probably is not, because Johnny and I are real good friends. So this is the way it is. It's life. It's life. He's lived a good one. He's touched a lot of people. And like I said, he's a real good friend of our show. And that's a good thing. Anyway, Cook, our prayers are with you. Fight the battle. Anyway, NASCAR stuff. I wanted to talk about this rain stuff.
Rain tires.
Hello. Rain tires. They've done it.
I was only kidding.
No, they've done it. When they ran.
I know they have.
In Japan, they had rain tires. They test rain tires. Why not? Why not? Dome the stadiums, the racetracks. Divert the water somewhere else. There's things that can be done, so you don't have to do that. Or retractable roofs. Rain's coming. The roof's back on.
That's a lot of money.
Okay, they're making billions.
But they don't want to spend billions.
I know the dividend checks from International Speedway Corp might be a little less, but it's a show. They got to put the show on.
My check's a little bit less, by 75 cents. What am I going to? How am I going to pay my mortgage if it's less?
But really, and it's like you go to a place like Daytona. It's raining in turn 3, but not in turn 1 because it's so massive there. But really, when you could see, I'm telling you from my seats, you could see lightning out in the background and a wall of black coming at you. And then when it came, it came.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
and you got to remember, you're at a racetrack where it's but basically you're in an open field, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There's no, I had this couple buildings, big whoop.
Yeah,
when it rains at a big track, man, it's...
Yeah, and then you got to dry it. And they used, not like in the old days when they ran the hot flame of the jet dryer. They use like air now. And they push it towards the bottom.
They just blow it.
But it's hot. I mean, if they sat in one spot with that air, they would cut holes in the asphalt. I happened to be at the R&D center when they were finishing up and testing. And the force of air that comes out of it, it's like the force of water when you cut granite, very similar. And it just pushes it down, and then and then they blow it and all that kind of good stuff. But it's 2.5 miles, and the backstretch is a mile long. And you get those air dryers up on the turns. They got to be moving, 'cause they have trouble staying up there. And I'm not just talking Daytona. I've been through rain delays at Bristol. I've been in New Hampshire, even some of the touring series tracks, Stafford, and Thompson Motorsports Park, both in Connecticut. It's drying the track is a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
That's if they get dryers.
Right.
I got tapped to race at Pocono for the infield. Basically, they got a road course on the inside of Pocono. So we go up there to race at this road course. So I set up a special car. We go up there to race at this road course. They have the drivers' meeting, and it's raining out. So meanwhile, I'm racing with like Ferraris, race Corvettes.
Sports cars.
It's all sports cars, but like, $500,000 sports cars. So the reason why they had the drivers' meeting was primarily to tell everybody that the race car that's got the 52 on the side does not have brake lights because everybody else had brake lights.
Right.
Not that anybody was going to catch me, but that was the plan, right? Yeah. So now it's raining, it's pouring at Pocono. There's no dryers there. They got no dryers for this race.
Nope.
So they said, well, you're the professional race. They put me in the black run group with the professional, sports car guys. You're the professional race car driver. You go out and check the track and tell me if it's good to race on. I'm on slicks, and it's pouring. Got no windshield wiper on this car.
Nah.
I'm not prepared to run in the rain
Nope.
at all. I'm out there wiping the inside of the window because it's fogging up. I come back, I'm like,
no,
I can't race on that. And he's like, all right, we're shutting it down. That's it. Cancel the day.
Just like that.
Just like that. I'm the professional. The professional race car driver said it's not good to race on. That was it. They shut it down.
Wow. Wow.
So I never got to race at Pocono.
Yeah.
Not for that.
Nope. And then the other thing we're looking at NASCAR is it's like they changed the July race at Daytona to August for next year. They haven't announced their schedule. However, all the sanctioning agreements are up, and there's going to be tracks that are going to lose shows. And I'm looking at that, like, remember the Southern 500 was always run, on this holiday and this race. And years ago, Daytona
that was an event.
Yeah.
It was an event.
And Daytona wasn't the first race years ago. They went out to California, to Riverside. That was the first race, and then came all the way back. It's just so much has changed in NASCAR. And I'm going to say, since Bill Jr. died, Bill France Jr. died, and and then Brian France came in, and he had a whole different agenda for doing this place, and a lot of people don't know the reason that the backstretch seats were taken down, and the front stretch seats at the triover were all changed to accommodate that, is because he wanted to buy a football team and move them there and play on that grass. So thank God that didn't happen. Thank God. It's a racetrack. Anyway, real quick, tentatively, I didn't even tell the producers this yet. Tentatively, August 5th will be show 400. 400. So we'll be having going over some of the plans that we plan to do with that. Because show 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, and 350 were pretty fun to do. Who would have thought? But
that's a lot of shows.
That's a lot of shows. And it's usually in like June, but I missed a few this past year. But anyway, with that being said, we're getting waves from the control room. Hi. We're out of time. So I want to thank everybody for taking time out of your busy schedules to watch and participate and talk. Chat room, Facebook Live, however you want to talk to us, it's great. And wherever your endeavors are going to bring you this weekend, please be safe.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
say a prayer for Cookie. He's a tough cookie.
Say a prayer for Cookie. And remember, give somebody a hug. Tell them you love them, because tomorrow's not guaranteed. And that's why they call today the present, because it is a gift. Have a good night, have a good week, and we'll see you all next week.
Goodbye.